send me a question so I can know if it comes up to my screen.
Are we all happy? We all good?
How's everybody doing? I hope you're all enjoying the lovely sunshine that's coming back. It's going to be a heat wave this week.
Yes, I've seen that.
You're from my ends, where I'm from. We're going to be going up to like 28 degrees.
Yeah, well, my partner, the first thing she did was she said, it looks like it's going to be 30 degrees next week. And within 10 minutes, there's a list of things that I have to do around the garden. Like within 15 minutes, it was like, I need this doing, I need this doing, I need this doing.
There you go, man.
Yeah. So, welcome to I think you're our fifth guest during our lockdown experience, offering a Q&A to our students over in Newcastle and in Teesside. Thank you very much. This is Sunjay, everybody, who is playing Shaq in BBC Doctors. And I'd be very interested, because I did ask several times, put a show of hands, who watched the episode that I asked you to watch? Okay, so a couple. That's good. Perfect. Well, the reason for that, the reason that Sunjay and I agreed with him, thought it was important for you to watch. And don't forget, you can always go back and watch it after this. It's on BBC iPlayer. Remind me of the Can You See Me? It's
Can You Hear?
Can You Hear Me? Sorry. And the reason that Sunjay thought it was a good idea, and I agreed with him, was because that obviously with everybody being in lockdown, BBC decided that they were going to do like a lockdown isolation episode where all of the actors had to actually film themselves in their own homes using their own devices. And they had to, and I'll let Sunjay explain the process again for those that have joined later. Talk us through, Sunjay, just really quickly, the process of that again, because it fascinates me that they were brave enough to even want to consider that being the beat.
You know, it's amazing because you've got to consider all things that, you know, the viewers who are so used to the characters know. Most of them will know their actual homes and what it actually looks like, what the characters' homes look like, what their rooms look like. So this was another challenge. So when it came, the first thing I said to Peter, the producer, when he called me, I was like, but how am I going to make it look like it's Shaq's room? I was like, how's that going to work? How are we going to do that? We had to audition our tech. So we had to use, an old school guy, I'm not going to lie. I've got like an iPhone 6 and I'm just never going to upgrade it because I'm just not bothered. I'm not interested in phones. That's just myself. But yeah, so I couldn't use that. Because that's pretty bad quality, according to a lot of people. So I had to try my camcorder out. And honestly, I've used it, and we had our production manager, and we had somebody else from production as well, Stephen Killick, who had to audition all of our tech. So what we had to do was we had to send like a 2-minute video and of like 3 different settings on a camera, and we had to send them off to him, and he would look at them and be like, this is the one we're going to use. And then on top of that, you know, we had to get the lighting right in our room. I had to go downstairs to get this huge lamp. So I mean, I've got if you saw a picture it's on my Twitter, of what it actually looked like. I was using these pop vinyls as my tripod. I had 2 of these on top of each other, and my camera was on top of there. And then I also had to get some quilts to behind the actual camera to block this, because my brother's room is really echoey. So they was like, can you sort that out? And I was like, how am I going to sort that out? I don't know what to do. They was like, can you get some quilts? I was like, okay. So I managed to get some, like a washing line type of stand. I've got the actual name for it. And I put some quilts on top of it, so it blocked the sound out. So it was basically me here filming towards this camera. Imagine if I'm filming to this camera, straight into the lens. And then on the left-hand side, Well, it doesn't have to be the left-hand side. In my case, I had a laptop set up on Zoom with the two producers, Peter and Mike, and the two production managers, and in Andy and Stephen. And so they had to, three of them had to mute their mic while Peter was giving me the other characters' lines to make the scene. So I was reacting from that, but directing it all to that. Wow. So that's basically how I myself.
And how did you find that? Was it harder because you were at home, or was it easier? Like, did you find that? It's like I'm in my office at the moment, at home, and I'm very aware that like every now and then I can hear my little girl, you know, singing and dancing and like doing whatever. And then I have to really focus to be like, right, I'm in like work mode. And then I suddenly relax because I'm surrounded by my own little trinkets, and it can be quite distracting to work from home. So how was filming? How did that work?
So I had to kick out my family, first of all. I do live at home with my family still. And but so my mom was just leaving the house as soon as I just started, and my dad was picking her up. And believe it or not, in our house, we've got these fire alarm sensors. And now they've been out of battery. The battery's been low for about a year now, but we've never actually changed them. So every, I don't know, however often, 30 seconds or something, it makes a beep noise. And we've got so used to it living in the house, I don't even hear it anymore. I don't hear it. So I'm on just like my scene. Just about to go into the first scene of the whole day. Peter's there, spinning the lines. Next thing you know, you get beep, and I don't actually hear it. I don't hear it. Somebody's like, "There's a noise, guys. Where is it?" I was like, "It's coming from your guys. It's definitely not my house. Nobody's here. It's coming from your guys' house." And then I was like, "Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's probably mine." Tried it again. Beep, beep, beep. It was, and I was like, "This wasn't happening, Sunjay, when you was here." No. I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, damn, it's a fire. It's a fire." And they're right in the ceiling. So luckily, I had to run downstairs. Give me a second, guys. Let's get my dad to get the ladder out and we had to take them off and just disconnect them. So things like that, you know, you think they're not going to make a difference, but they make a huge difference. So luckily, I was able to do it in complete silence. I had to turn the landlines off, you know, turn the switches off. You know, just because all this is going to affect, if you're in a scene and you're doing the most intense scene ever and the frigging landline goes off, how's it going, man? I'm in a scene. Please don't call me now. That's how it works.
So I think for me, one of the important things about these Q&As and we've had a couple of actors, we've had 2 directors, we've got a few more actors lined up, all at varying degrees of their careers. Some are doing phenomenally well. Some are at the beginning of their careers, but all equally, to me, as important, because we like to know what journey they went on.
Yeah.
Get them to where they are and what their vision is for the future and what sort of hurdles and barriers they've come across. And I think one of the big things that we're starting to find like a bit of a theme here is learning how our guests got into the industry and what was like the route in. So if you could rewind sort of way back to when the fire of excitement was for acting, and then where it went from there.
Well, you know, as I said, everybody's got a story. Mine, because everybody's got their own different journey, and you know, I was basically trying to figure out mine. So I finished school. I'm 23, by the way. Might not look a bit older. No, 24 next month. I'm 23 now. I finished school when at the age of 16. So I finished year 11. I think that's the right age. I might be wrong. Actually, I think I finished school I don't know. I can't remember what age I finished school. In year 11, so I finished school in year 11. It was time to obviously go to sixth form and college. I don't know if anybody else is in that predicament right now. But, so yeah. I was at a school that had a theatre, but they didn't offer acting as a subject. And I kind of knew that I want to go into acting. but wasn't as serious enough to see it as a career. But I was always told at school, etc., look, you need to get into acting, man. This is what you are. You know, I was good at this and good at that. Did plays. I played Robin Hood in the lead role. This is, you know, it took me years ago now. But so yeah, so it came to the choice. So I decided to go to sixth form, and I was doing RE, ICT, I think business, because there wasn't a choice to acting. And I was doing it for about 2 months, and I said to myself, you know, I had this gut feeling, I'm just not enjoying this. This is not, I mean, I'm pretty good intellectually, but I was like, I don't want to, you know, fantastic. I commend people who are doing, you know, subjects like that. It just wasn't for me. So I said to myself, I'm going to drop out and I need to find out how to become an actor. I have no idea how that actor on screen has got that job, but I have no idea. I don't know what they've had to go through. I don't know what process they've done. So I need to find out for myself. Thankfully, my parents backed it, and, you know, grateful to God that this happened. So I dropped out of sixth form, etc., and I was left at home. So I was like, let's do some research then. So yeah, I started doing some research. I signed up to like loads of agencies and stuff because I just didn't know how else to do it. I was conned by one for a big sum of money. It wasn't an actual agency. This was some sort of modelling thing that told me I was so naive in the industry that it was the type of thing that, wow, you're telling me this? Oh my goodness, sign me up right now. So that's how it was. That happened. So yeah, that happened, and then a year had passed by. During that time, I did a couple of commercials. I did some extra work because I thought that you know, this is acting. I was like, wow, I've just got a role in Emmerdale. I was telling my family that, and it was an extra role, but I didn't quite know. I didn't quite understand it. Obviously, as much as I do now, I'm still learning. Everybody still does, but yeah. So a year passed by, and I said to myself, look, I need to learn acting. So I was obviously developing this mindset that I need to learn acting. If I want to be good at acting, I need to learn acting. So I went to college and I did level 3 acting at Walsall College, which was about half an hour, 45-minute bus drive away from the bus. And that was a 2-year course. So I started that. I got in straight away, thankfully. And it's actually funny because I've never actually told anybody else this before, because actually sometimes you forget. After the first year had passed by, I was going to drop out. I spoke to my tutors. It was the last day of the first year, and I just felt as if I wasn't getting, you know, the lead roles or whatever, etc., in the theatre plays and the stuff we was performing. I just felt like that. And I had to kind of look at myself, and I was like, you know, obviously at the time, I was like, man, you guys have got something against me, man. You know, what's all this about? But I had to you know, they kind of come up with the things. I was like, you know, this is the reason why. And I kind of understood, you know, that maybe I wasn't putting in as much work as I possibly could, and not doing the research as much, etc. Somebody else probably was. Maybe there's some truth to that, maybe there's not. I don't know. But I had a choice that day. I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to quit and go find a regular job or find a different career? Or am I going to continue? And I decided to continue. So, came to the second year, I was banging it out, man. Honestly, I had changed my mindset completely. You know, I was indulged in the learning process of acting. I fell in love with it. Fell in love with Shakespeare, etc. Learned why Shakespeare was so important. All this kind of, you know, aspects. And then I graduated from acting, so at level 3, and that was 2015. So that was about June/July. So then you got the next stage, where I'm still, by the way, during this time I was still doing extra work, and I did 1 or 2 maybe commercials in this time with an agency that I was with. However, I wasn't going up for auditions because I was at college. So college had finished, and I let my agent at that time know that I've got finished college. Can you guys possibly think about putting me up for roles now? Which is a bit of a way off, to be honest, because I had no experience. Well, obviously I just finished college, but some agencies look for a lot more experience, etc. So obviously then I had to apply for university or drama school, etc. And I got into a couple of them, a couple of unconditional offers. But it was another thing. I was like, I don't really want to go study for another 3 years. I want to, work. I want to do it now. Like I just had this like, I thought, oh, I'm ready for acting, man. I can go on TV now, that type of thing. But I was a bit naive then. However, I got an audition literally a month later, in 2015. It was August 2015. I got an audition for Doctors. This is like my first TV audition. And I got the script, and then my agent was like, I'm picking up for this audition. I was like, yeah, great, cool, and it was for 4 episodes. I had the audition for 4 episodes of Doctors to play his character named Shakib, and he's now Shaq. I was like, okay, so I went to the audition, and I prepared as much as I possibly could in that time, in my mindset at that time. As possibly as much as I knew, I did. And on the day of the audition, the casting directors, lovely lady, Laura McSwan, I hope that I've got that surname right. And and another guy called Joel, can't remember his surname, came to me in the waiting room and gave me 2 new scripts. And he was like, the director wants you to learn this now. And I was like, oh, this is a test. They're testing me to see if I can learn lines or something. I was like, so I literally had 10 minutes until my call time for the audition. And I kid you not, I learned that script within 10 minutes. I had no idea how I did it, but I'm not going to lie, I learned that script. And this was a time where I used to hate learning scripts, and I thought it was something that you've got to have a serious talent for. I just thought I didn't have that. But I learned that script, and I went to that room, and honestly, they were a huge part of me getting the role, first of all. And second of all, the audition couldn't have gone any better. I actually went in wearing a hat. They told me to take it off in the audition. We had a chat, etc. This doesn't often happen. But yeah, so I left it all behind in the room, as the saying goes. And I got a call the next day. I got the role. I couldn't believe it. So I was crying. I was in tears, etc. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. 4 episodes of Doctors. Wow, this is the start of my career. And then, so obviously, I had to call my agent. I was like, so what do I do about university, etc. They're not going to allow me to work and study at the same time. So my agent at the time kind of deterred me away from further studies in like a yearly course or drama school course, etc. So I filmed Doctors for 4 episodes, and I've been doing it ever since. I've now credited 86 episodes to be exact, and I've got so many more to come. And I've been in and out all the time. My character's developed so much during this time. It's been an amazing gig. It's been amazing to be able to play a character for so long and watch him grow, and myself grow as an actor. Honestly, if I could have the last 3 years back, I would, because in my own experience, I didn't. When I had the opportunity to be on obviously playing this character on Doctors, I kind of have the mentality that, the auditions are going to just come rolling in, etc. now. However, that wasn't the case. But in my own downfall, I didn't continue training elsewhere. I was at home just not really working on my craft as much as I should have been doing. But since last year, 2018, completely changed my mindset, learning all the time. Last year, I did a theatre tour. that was amazing. Because I got a new agent, and I was like, I want to do theatre as well. I really want to do theatre. I really want to, because I know the best actors that did theatre, they learnt the theatre, and that's where acting comes from at the end of the day. And yeah, so it was an amazing experience doing that tour last year, playing three. It was in 3 different plays, and I played like 6 different characters. It was an amazing, amazing feeling to just be on that stage and to just feel the audience. And yeah, so that's kind of my journey so far, and I'm here talking to you today now.
So the contract, I mean, you don't have to divulge like the ins and outs of the contract, but I'm curious. So as a semi-reg, isn't it? The contract is for semi-reg. So if is that just like a rolling contract then, or do they sort of sign you up for like a year and then you have to continue to read?
Yeah. So I get a set amount of time. I think somebody's connections have gone bad. Yeah, we're back. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always get a set amount. I always get a set schedule beforehand. You know, we're going to be here for this many months now. Please keep that. You know, and I've got to accept it or decline it, etc. So that's how it works. So it obviously gives me the chance to do other things. Like last year, I did a theatre tour for like 4 months, and you know, I actually chose to do that, knowing that I could have been doing TV work in that time. However, you know, if that was the case, but I chose to do theatre because I wanted to learn the theatre, and I wanted to be able to add those credits to my CV, and I fell in love with it as well as soon as I was on the first day of rehearsal. Honestly, with myself, I'm not gonna lie. I've had a really, really nice storyline recently in Doctors, and it was a nice, because last year I did Doctors at the beginning of the year, and then I did theatre, and then actually I was out of work for 3 months. So during that time, it was a really hard time for myself, because I was like, man, the phone's not ringing, you know, the no auditions. I don't know why that was. However, I had to change my mentality, because if that was 2 years before, I probably would have just, you know, used the time to just work elsewhere, which I still do, by the way, and just not continue training. However, I joined some acting workshops, and I was going to them all the time. It was weekly, and it helped me so much during that time with my mindset, because I needed to realize, you know, this is truly what I want to do, and I learned so many new skills. It improved me hugely as an actor. From that, I gained more confidence. I started making my own short films, and it just boosted me, I guess. So in a sense, when you think, oh man, 3-4 months out of work, you know, that's bad, but you can use that time to truly get better at your craft. And I said to myself, I need to do that. So this year has been, I know Corona has been here, but it's actually been a really good year for myself, because it's been my best performances yet as an actor. And for me, you know, now I can truly say, you know, I am ready to take, you know, the next level. I am ready to take that next step, because I thought that I was ready then, but now knowing what I know now in this mindset, you know, no, you actually wasn't ready. You need to learn a bit more, and obviously you learn things, and it's been great, especially with this lockdown episode. The feedback that I've received, it's actually been like so overwhelming. So many people have said it's your best performance yet. I've had producers going out their way to email me, directors, actors, and it's just been wow. I cannot believe it. So, but that again shows that the work that I put in that time has obviously paid off. And so now, you know, it is what it is, and obviously I do have big goals of eventually, you know, doing, you know, a lot more different TV series. I do want to do some TV series in this country, then I do eventually, you know, by God's grace, whether this happens or not, well, it will happen. I want to move to the North America, to pursue acting over there as well, overseas, and that's why I've been using this time to, you know, obviously learn American accent, and just working on all these kind of skills, finding out what they look for in an actor, finding out the agencies, the managers, etc. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Before I do anything like that, I'm still got doctors to film this year. All I know at the moment is that I'm back in July. How the length at the moment, I do not know, because we don't actually know how things are going to go when we're back filming, because things are going to take a lot longer than they usually would due to social distancing. So I don't know. Who knows how long I'll be back for? Mm. For example, one scene would be done within sometimes 15 minutes. Now one scene is going to be done within 3 hours, just because of how many things are having to change due to social distancing. So yeah. In my opinion, I think that it's like I've been saying to myself and I've been saying to everybody, during this lockdown, we're not going to get this lockdown time back. So I said to myself, first of all, we need to be kind to ourselves. Mental health is huge during this time because everybody's going through so many different things. And, your mental health is probably the first and foremost thing. Also, I said to myself, I want to use this time, to truly train and just get better, because we're not going to get this time back. So online courses, stuff like that, I think that, for me, I think they're a go ahead. Obviously, do your research and find out who else has been there, etc. Who they've taught, and that's a big thing. Who they are and what they've what they've got to offer you. I think it's always great to try new techniques out. So many different acting teachers have got different techniques, and I think it's amazing to just try them out and to see what works for you. That's something I didn't do from 2015 to I'd say 17. From 18 onwards, I started learning Shakespeare myself again at home. I read all loads of Shakespeare books, plays. I started learning so many different acting teachers. I was going into all of them, and it's just improved me as an actor. And I think that when you it's like I always compare an actor to an athlete. An athlete never stops training. They don't, and it has to be the same for an actor. And if an actor truly wants to be great in what they do, they've got to have this mentality where the training doesn't stop. The training doesn't stop. Like you being here in this workshop now, whoever I am, I don't know who I am, but you're going to learn something. Hopefully, you're taking your time out to actually use this time to learn, and I guess 100%. And we're going to drama school, further studies. 100%, I'm for it. There's so many different things now, because even if drama school is not something you want to do for 3 years or 2 years, there's so many part-time workshop classes, weekly sessions, daily sessions. There's 4-month or 4-week courses. There's these things. Honestly, if you do your research, there's so many out there, and I would recommend everybody if you're really serious about acting, to just do them, because we've got to learn, we've got to improve, and that will show in your performances, because you've actually put the time in during this time to actually work in your craft. And it's crazy, you see, because out of my college class, I think there was about 30 of us all together. I'm the only one who's actually got work. The rest of them, I believe I've quit pursuing this acting dream because it's so hard. But also that shows that I was lucky, obviously, and that's why I find it so important that I have to continue working on my skills. And I think it's a go ahead. There's so many YouTube videos, etc. I watch, read up on actors, what they did, all sorts. I think it's all part of being an actor and growing an actor. It's all part of the process. And I always compare it to an athlete. I'm saying again, an athlete never stops training. Cristiano Ronaldo was the best because he just continuously didn't stop training. And it's the same for an actor. So training is it's 100% yes for me, I think.
Well, because I trained at Mount View Academy.
Yeah.
There was 30 of us, and 25 of us graduated. 6 of us were working regularly for a little while, and now there's only 3 of us left. Everybody else has moved on to become business owners in different areas, but certainly not in the acting realm. And I just think what I kept saying was similar to, and again, I know you've just said it, but it's the long game, and you can't be in the long game if you're only used to running short distance.
Exactly.
And I literally said almost the exact same thing. You've got to be able to endure the long game. So that's very interesting that you just said that. It just reaffirms.
It's you know, just carrying on from this specific topic. You know, certain things, it's like a simple thing, like watching an actor just talk. Like, for example, if there's any piece of advice I can give to that, I hope you can use it. I'm telling you simple things. I was watching an interview about 7 months ago, probably. No, I actually think it was at the end of 2018. I think it was actually. I was watching a BAFTA interview with Hugh Grant, and something simple he just said, and he was like, I think they asked him a question, how do you do it, etc. And he just said, I just wish somebody would have told me earlier, you know. It's so simple. All you have to do is just go for a run in the morning, and your body just relaxed. And you know, I thought, just try it. So on this lockdown episode, I've used that technique that he's said that day, and I've used it ever since. I have to, for example, if I've got an emotional scene or a very intense scene, you know, I go for a jog or a run in the morning. It puts me in a state of relaxation. To, if you had like a diagram of it, where you would imagine steam coming off my head. Honestly, it just relaxes you, and it just allows you to be relaxed on set, because the last thing you want to do when you're performing is feel tense. You've got to be relaxed, because, you know, I'm so, you know, I'm not tense. I'm talking to you, and I'm just relaxed, and that's how, when we're having a day-to-day conversation, we're relaxed. You know, we're having a conversation, unless we're feeling a bit uneasy about it. You know, that's a different story. But in terms of bringing a performance, you have to be relaxed, and something as simple as this is what I'm saying. You know, watching videos and YouTube videos of actors and stuff, they can go such a long way, because you can get 5 seconds worth of advice, and it could last a lifetime. To be honest, I'm a really big fan of. Yeah, this is, you know, it shouldn't really be an easy answer, but for me, it probably is really where I want to, kind of roles that I want to get into. Sorry, I need to sneeze. Not COVID. For myself, my favourite actors are people like Denzel Washington, Al Pacino, and just because they're so still within their performance. Like, I studied Al Pacino for a good 3 months. Just studied him. Like, that man does nothing, yet he does something. Like, he performs, and he's just honestly, like, I'm thinking, but it's so powerful, just his eyes, etc. So a role where, because I am a big gangster movie fan, I like all the Godfathers and all those type of films, something like that. You know, I'm actually currently doing a YouTube mini series at the moment, where I am kind of playing that kind of character. Somebody offered it me, and I was like, "Wow, that's something I'd love to do." And yeah, it looks pretty good. They've all said, you know, this is something you look pretty good in. So that's something I would love to do. Gangs of London, I've got to watch that yet. But yeah, that's probably my dream role. But also just telling a story. I truly love seeing stories told. You know, I just love seeing, you know, something relatable. It's just beautiful stories, I guess. Just, you know, just to be able to show something true. I think that's what we all, you know, we want to see. We want to be able to be, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. That relates to my life, and just being able to tell a story that's, you know, that can resonate with someone. How about you? But I just find it there's something about actors when they're just smoking on the screen. It just even though I'm not a fan of smoking, you know what I'm saying, but it just looks so cool when you see it on screen. They make it look so cool. I don't know how, but in my opinion anyway. But also, you know, this is not trying to. I'm not trying to say this is the only thing that I want to do. But you know, people like Hugh Jackman, that man can play Wolverine, and then he can also play The Greatest Showman. I mean, that versatility I want to be able to possess. So, you know, learning things like dance and singing and stuff, working on my vocals, something that I did start, and you know, things like that. So, you know, if there's one actor, I can't really. I don't know how to narrow it. How to narrow that down. I'd probably say Al Pacino just because I just know that I'd just be in awe. Or Denzel Washington, or Hugh Jackman. I don't know. Will Smith, one of those. Pick one. I've given you 4. So last year, okay, I don't want to say favourite, but one of my favourite actors to work with. I don't know if you met him, Daniel, when you
No.
when you did Doctors. Chris Walker. He plays Rob. He's the DCI in Doctors. I worked with Rob for the first time in 2016, I believe, and he taught me something on set that has now stayed with me, and it will stay with me forever. It was just the use of his eyes. I was told prior by Barty, who plays my on-screen mum, just watch Rob. Chris, just watch him when I'm going to be filming with him. And I just took it on, and there was a scene where Shaq was kind of interrogating him, being quite sarcastic, and we were left on the sofa in the shot, and I was told by the director to just use this moment, and Chris kind of, put it on me, because we kind of ended the scene, said our dialogue, and we just looked at each other, and obviously I couldn't quite understand at the time, why am I looking at you for so long? It's feel weird. Don't you feel weird? I feel, but watching it back, it was, wow, that's what it was. So the use of the eyes and what I learned from Chris that day, it went so far with me. So every single time I had a scene with Chris, I used to frigging look forward to that scene, honestly. I was like, oh my gosh, today I can learn so much. It was just, being able to do scenes where, I was interrogating people. I was going on, doing my own, researching about criminals, and I was finding out, and I was going out to find them and all this kind of thing. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that was another time where I truly improved as an actor as well. So yeah, I think that would be where I would, not necessarily want, but I would love, it would be, wonderful if they went down that route with my character.
But are you in a position, I mean, obviously we never know how long a contract is going to last, but it's looking like, you're obviously doing something right, and there is, it's looking like there's going to be some longevity in your existence on Doctors. But
yeah,
do you have any, I don't want to use the word power, but just like any say in potential storylines that you think would be, or is there just like a team that develop all of that without any input from the actors?
I mean, sometimes they do welcome ideas. I would say that they welcome ideas, and sometimes it can be a bit weary about, asking. But as the time's going by, 100%, I'm always like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Or what about this? How that worked, etc. Things like that even on the set. I'm not going to lie to you. I change the lines in my script all the time. That things like that I've been, blessed to have the freedom to do, because although the writers know my character, I know my character as well. Yeah. And sometimes I look at it, you wouldn't say that. What the heck? Let me just take that out and put something else in, or can I just use this? Can I just not say anything here, or can I just look, or stuff like that? Because obviously I know the characters so well, and the other actors do as well. We've got that freedom. And I think that's what's amazing, as I kind of do know Shaq at the back of my hand, like my own back of my hand. I think that's why I find it so, relaxing to play him, because I feel like as if I can relate to him somewhat in some ways, and I just understand his journey. Because the good thing is they've expanded on his, and I'm so lucky to have had this opportunity. They've expanded on his whole life. They've showed that he hasn't got a father. His father left him. He went to search for his father. He hated his stepdad first. Not hate, but he didn't really respect him. He eventually loved him. His stepdad passed away. He's kind of become the man of the house. You know, he's gone through that phase where he was a very naughty teenager, and he went through that phase where he did a hit and run and all this kind of thing. Anger took over him, etc. And I've just been able to see him grow into a person who's very lovable now, and the audience truly have come a long way with him, and they've enjoyed the journey. So they all say, you know, the writers are like, oh, we love Shaq now, and it's made him into the person. It's so beautiful to have watched his journey and the person he is today.
Having been, you know, thrown in, dare I say, at the deep end, you know, it's suddenly like, you know, 4 episodes turns into 5 years, which is, you know, it is not a miracle, but it is like a blessing that we could only dream for. And I was just wondering, because it's filmed entirely, or most of it is in Birmingham, and you are Birmingham based. Have you found there to be an increase in people recognizing you and how you deal with that? Is it something that you enjoy, dislike, encourage, you know, whatever? And again, you don't have to go into too much detail about it. It's quite a personal experience, but I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to get my head around, you know, this. It's 3 to 4 million viewers.
I think you get like 2 million viewers.
Is it 2 million? Okay.
Average of 2 million viewers, yeah.
Which is, you know, it's a lot of lot of eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about that aspect.
So for example, so with myself, I have definitely had to learn on the job. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, although I was talking about college and everything like that. I can't actually remember too much actually from college. Because we didn't really focus so much on TV, first of all. You know, the theatre things I can definitely remember from college. But instead of television, it's such a different, I'm not going to say sport, different skill set to theatre. So I'm grateful that they've given me the time to improve, you know, because I have definitely learned on the job. Like, I worked with an actor. No, sorry, I didn't work with him. I met him in the changing room. Derek Folds, some of you may know him. He passed away actually earlier this year. Legendary actor. He was in the business for 70 years. So he did Doctors for the first time, and I shared the dressing room with him, as I did with yourself, Daniel, at that time. And he actually said to me, he goes, "I've been in this business for 70 years. He goes, I've never experienced anything like this. Because I don't know how you do it. I don't know how, because with Doctors, I mean, whoever, you know, you guys tuning in now, it's so fast paced. It's unbelievable. When you're on a movie set, you know, these guys are getting a whole day to sometimes film one scene. We're doing 15, 20 scenes in one day, and we have not got the time to be messing around. So that's why you've got to be prepared. And you've got to be prepared to know that, you know, you aren't going to get a second chance sometimes. And honestly, I've learned that sometimes we, you know, for example, there was an episode that aired recently. There was a wrap time. I think it was 6:45. They got onto set, Daniel and everybody else, at 6:30 from the previous location. And then they had to set up. We had about 5 minutes to film a 4-character scene. 4 characters, and we got it done literally. And the thing is, that's how you've got to be prepared. So when he said that to me, I was like, oh, that's, you know, I'm exactly what you just said. I've been thrown into the deep end type of thing, and I've kind of swam through it. And in terms of like fans and stuff, yeah, it's been huge, to be honest. I get recognised all the time now. It's funny because it's only this year I debuted the beard on the screen. Before that, my character's always clean shaven and he looked quite young. But when I wasn't filming, I normally just grow my beard. Sometimes I just can't be bothered to shave, or I just prefer it looking like this. And I used to get recognised all the time. I was like, how do you recognise me with a beard? And I also still and I believe in jobbing actors. I fully support actors who work and can pursue their career at the same time, because you have, none of us are, well, I think not most of us are not blessed with the riches, etc., to be able to just quit work and just focus on it. I've been doing retail still for 5 years. Literally the same year that I started Doctors, I was given the luxury. Well, I was in a retail job before that, and then I've still actually got that retail job. Luckily, my manager's become one of my best friends, and he always, very understandable about my acting, and I get recognised all the time at work. And the funny thing is, they don't actually understand what I'm like. What is actually doing? Working there. I'm like, yeah. If you understood what it's actually like, I'm doing this because I'm still trying to make money, and I'm trying to live at the same time, because we have to. Although the money is great, when I'm there, but it's not always there. So there I get recognised all the time. And for example, from this particular episode that came on in lockdown, all you've got to do is just read through the comments on Doctors' official pages on Twitter and Facebook, etc. It's been absolutely huge. People are calling, for my character to win an award or whatever. Whether that happens, I don't know. But I really hope the episode wins an award, because I think it deserves it. So yeah, I really, I'm not gonna lie. What I do is this, because sometimes because people don't understand that they think an actor shouldn't be working in a retail, an actor shouldn't be in a restaurant, an actor shouldn't be waiting, etc. They don't understand that. So sometimes I get this, you look so much like this guy on Doctors. And I kid you not, this is my reaction. Really? I haven't heard that one before. What's he like? Is he a good actor? And they're like, yeah, he's a great actor. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, is he really? Yeah. And then I say to my colleagues, I'm like, this guy thinks I look like this guy from Doctors. Oh, this lady does. And then as soon as I walk out of the shot, I'm like, by the way, I am that guy. And funnily enough, there's actually some people who actually don't believe it's me. And it's actually hilarious. It's actually, because they're so confused. Yeah. It's actually hilarious. But I get regular fans coming in all the time, and when I go out, people are, the people that I'm with are like, oh, because they do get spotted, and I think it's a wonderful thing to be appreciated. As if you said, do you like it? Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing for me to know that there's somebody out there who wants to tune in to just watch, and giving me the time, giving me their time to be able to allow me to perform. I think it's a blessing, I guess. So I appreciate it so much when people come up to me and ask for photos, autographs, and all that kind of thing. It's a wonderful thing.
And on that note, it's a really simple one to sort of end the Q&A on, because what you've just done there, actually, and I hope people that are still tuning in with us now would agree that Andy Berryman was probably the closest to what you've just said. Andy Berryman is a very good friend of mine. He's a film director, but you have just leveled. You've certainly leveled me with that answer, because I had no idea you still worked in retail, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. In fact, it's probably very much needed in order to keep yourself afloat, because, just because you're acting, it doesn't mean that suddenly you're driving around in a Lamborghini and you've got a 4-bedroomed house in the middle of Birmingham. But
which people assume, you see. Say that again, sorry. Which a lot of people do assume that is every actor. I'm grateful. I'm not going to say I'm poor or anything like that, because I've been able to be blessed with, for example, this role, and I've been theatre, etc. The short films. I've been able to be paid by this job, but it's also, in terms of my, I've got reasons for why I'm still doing retail, etc. I could, I'm saving up for, for example, if I do move to America, or if I move to Canada, You know, I've got money in the bank that can support me and all this kind of thing. And if I did move out to there, I would do the same thing. I would look for something part-time, or, you know, just whilst I'm auditioning and stuff. I think this is important. And I think it's really, really sad when actors are scrutinized for it. And I think it's really, when actors are supported for it as well. You know, because this is another thing now for us in this generation. We can make a short film on our iPhones. I'm just trying to get my iPhone out. You know, on this snap, we can just make a short film, and it can change our lives. It's amazing to know that, and we've got the, you know, we've got the, I keep forgetting the word. What is the, you know, we've got the equipment basically that it's there. You know, it's there for us now. We've kind of got no excuse to do it. And obviously, it is disheartening, and there's going to be so many times when you think, man, this is impossible. I've been through that so many times, and you know, it's funny because I heard somebody say something that's kind of stuck with me for life. It's a lot of things that people say on this that actually do stick with me for life. They're very small, simple quotes, and I do listen. Somebody said, you know, before a lot of people quit, you know, it was just around that corner that they was going to turn before they quit. It was there. And, you know, just use that, you know, keep that in mind that it will come and it will happen. And this is a really, really tough industry. You know, there is so many stereotype castings, there is typecast, etc. You know, find out what it is that you think you're good at, learn, and you know, if you're doing theatre, for example, the guys who are at college, and if you're doing theatre studies, etc., you know, at home, start seeing what you look like on the camera and start filming self-tapes, get, you know, monologues, etc., and just learn them and perform them. This is how you're going to be ready, because I came to the point, for example, in 2018 where I told myself, you know, if I have an audition now, I never want it to be because of me, I didn't get the role. I don't want to ever have that in my mind. I want to be able to leave the audition knowing that the time, even if it was last night or if it was a week ago when I got that audition call, I did everything I possibly could during that time to give my best performance possible. And these are my advices, I guess, to continue. You know, that's it, man. Just chase it. If you really believe in this dream, then you know, it can be beautiful. But just know, you know, with the sunshine, there is some rain, you know, before that. So, you know, you've got to get through that, and you will. That's all it is. It's got to be about perseverance, and, you know, nothing is promised. But honestly, you're going to remember these words if you're ever going through that period one time when you're thinking, damn, I hate this. It's really hard. It's tough on our mental health, but just hang in there. It could be around the corner. But as I say, you know, just do the research, man. It's beautiful. Once you fall in love with the craft, you know, you're going to be addicted to looking, and you're not going to stop, and it will come to you.